Is when he started getting more physical with me, where he actually started like doing very threatening things, like kind of like punching walls close to me. One time he threw change at like my face, like a bunch of coins at my face.
This is Chat Over Popcorn, brought to you by Aspire Media and Marketing, hosted by Angela Ansa. Subscribe to our social media networks and follow the conversations on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Chat Over Popcorn, where the conversations run deep, starts now.
Welcome to Chat Over Popcorn, where the conversations run deep. My name is Angela Ansa, your host for the show. Tonight's show is about domestic violence, and about 10 million people currently suffer from domestic violence in the United States. And of all the cases, 85% of the victims are women and 15% are men. Joining me today to discuss this very sensitive topic is my very good friend from graduate school, Leah. Leah has a master's degree in public health. She enjoys hiking, yoga, nature, and she is passionate about building a more compassionate society. Leah is a domestic violence survivor, and I cannot wait to dive much deeper into the conversations with Leah. Leah, welcome to Chat Over Popcorn.
Thank you so much, Angela. Thank you so much for having me. It's so wonderful to see you.
Oh, it is so good to see you. I can't believe the last time I saw you was 2013? No, at my wedding. At my wedding 2015. Oh my God. You look amazing, by the way. You look amazing.
It's incredible to see you.
Thank you. So, Leah, obviously there are different types of domestic violence. May it be sexual, physical, psychological, what have you, financial. Why don't you talk to us about what your personal journey was like?
Yeah, thank you, Angela. So I experienced domestic violence from the age of 13 to the age of 19 for about 6 years. And so my domestic violence journey started when I was 13, so I was pretty young.
Mm-hmm.
I got involved with somebody who was my age, a male, and he at first started off like very sweet, like giving me flowers all the time and doing those types of romantic gestures, etc. But there were other signs that I had overlooked because being 13 years old, I had no idea what domestic violence was. I always thought it was just punching, kicking, hitting. I didn't realize that there was psychological aspects as well at that age. So he started kind of slowly at first being more possessive, like, not letting me see certain people, asking me where I was going. He tried to have control over who I talked to, who I didn't talk to. And then it progressively got worse over time, trying to isolate me from friends, family, loved ones, telling me that people that I loved were against him so that I shouldn't talk to them anymore, saying kind of things like that. He also tried to control me financially, like whenever because I was working, when I turned 16, I started working, and around that time he would make me give him money, and he didn't work for a long time, so he pretty much relied a little bit on me financially. And then things progressively got worse, and around the age of 18 is when he started getting more physical with me, where he actually started like doing very threatening things, like kind of like punching walls close to me. One time he threw change at like my face, like a bunch of coins at my face, that's very painful if you've never had that happen to you, and I hope that never does happen to anybody. But yeah, he just did a lot of like really, really atrocious things, and things that people shouldn't do to other human beings.
Wow, from the age of 13 to 19. That is such a transformative years. You are now even learning about who you are. You are a teenager. Was he your first boyfriend?
The first serious boyfriend. I mean, kids, they're like, hey, he's my boyfriend, but you just see each
Right.
other at school or
Right.
whatever. But yeah,
Right.
it was my first serious boyfriend.
Were you living with him at the age of 13?
No, so we moved in together when we were 18 because he got kicked out of his house and he was going to be homeless. So we started renting somewhere together.
So, Leah, while you were going through this domestic abuse from 13 to 19, did your family members know any of this was happening to you, or were you just kept in this isolation mode where you were not allowed to even reach out to them? Did they know what was happening?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I have always been very protective of my family, and this comes from, I think, things that occurred to me in my childhood, and wanting to keep my family safe and not let them worry about me, because oftentimes my abuser would threaten to harm me or my family if I left him. And because of that, I didn't want my family to worry, and I didn't want them to worry for me, and I didn't want them to worry for their own safety. So I stayed because I was afraid of what he could do to them. So I didn't really tell my family, but I do know that I was much more quiet and reserved. And I remember one specific time, I was preparing like this gift for my mom for Mother's Day, and but he had a lot of male privilege where he expected for me. We lived together when I turned 18, and he expected for me to do all of the tasks of the house, including all of the cleaning, all of the cooking. But whenever I did it, he would always say that it wasn't good enough. So he always told me that I wasn't good enough, that my food wasn't good enough, that I didn't know how to cook, that I didn't know how to do things. Anytime on Mother's Day, I was finishing up this gift for my mom, and I'll never forget, there was dishes in the sink, and he had told me specifically, he was just like, I want you to clean those dishes before you leave. And I was like, I'm not, doing these dishes. I'm going to go finish this gift so I could give it to my mom. So he started taking our dishes and actually throwing them into the garbage, so they're all just shattering in the garbage and breaking in the garbage. He was also just he put me down all the time. He would always call me ugly. He would show me like pictures of models and tell me that I was nothing compared to them, and that I was so ugly compared to them, and that I needed to lose weight, that I was so heavy that no one would ever like me. He also told me to always keep my mouth shut. He said I had nothing important to say. So it just kind of gradually got worse and worse, and I feel like over time my confidence and my joy of life and everything from 13 till 18, 19 just gradually went down. I became really quiet and really reserved, like at home and at school, and I kind of sheltered inward and was dealing with a lot emotionally.
For our viewers out there, we have followers from all kinds of age group, right? And I want to say this in addition to what Leah have said. It is very important that as parents, as friends, as family members, we pay attention to one another. It is one of the reasons why I said in my introductory video that part of the platform, part of the reason why I created a platform is so that we can dig deeper with people and lean on those that we trust, because our connections these days, like I said in my other video too, have been diluted, right? In the sense that these days when we ask someone how they are doing, we are not really asking how they are doing. And if we can dig deeper with people, then we would be able to know what is really happening and be able to help them however way we can for them to get out of whatever situation they are in. Leah is talking about psychological abuse. Unlike physical abuse, you cannot see psychological abuse, right? There's no scar on your face. There's no bruise. There's nothing, right, that physically show a psychological abuse. But even like Leah was saying, her demeanor, I'm sure, was very different. But I can imagine that 19-year-old her had no lights, that it was dim, probably, right? And so as a society, as a support group, as a circle of friends, family, we have to pay attention to our loved ones and really see if we notice a shift in their behavior, right, Leah? If we notice a shift in their outlook, and dig deeper and try to understand what is it that is happening. Now, while our topic today is about domestic violence, there are other aspects of things that happens to us in lives that have nothing to do with domestic violence, but other things, whether the person is struggling financially, emotionally, any other aspects that may not have a physical sign associated with. So I guess my point is I want all of us to build a better community where we are connecting with our loved ones and helping people through it. But also, I guess, Leah, if you would agree with what I'm saying, allowing ourselves also to be vulnerable enough to be able to share what it is that is happening, right? Like I know you mentioned you did not want to let your family be worried about what is happening. You didn't want to worry your family. But I think what I'm saying now is it's okay to worry our family, especially if our health is at stake.
Thank you for watching this episode. To continue with the conversation, subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the bell or notification button to be notified every time new videos get uploaded. Also, click thumbs up to like the video and follow our Instagram and Facebook pages to catch up on all the conversations.